questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming on for deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along, still the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South, they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Yes, guys. Welcome back to Eagle-Eyed Football. This is the match preview for the FA Cup. Crystal Palace versus Southampton. It's going to be the most interesting game in the whole of the FA Cup by a long way. I'm joined here with Statman Dan. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. I went to the academy tour this morning. Accidentally drove into the training ground. And saw Tyrant Mitchell, Odson Edouard, and Chris Richards just having a stroll. But yeah, no. So that was a really nice part of the day. How you doing, JC?
Yeah, I'm all good. Do you want to talk us through that a little bit? Because I was meant to go, but the times are really crap. I can never make it.
Yeah, they're not great. Like that's the only downside to it is that I think if you're working, unless you just have a day off on that day, you're going to need to take holiday, which is a bit of a shame. But no, honestly, it was really good. I took a load of videos. I did a bit of vlogging earlier. Honestly, like the attention to detail is really is really incredible. Like literally everything they do, every little detail has all been like planned and everything. And we had Brighty doing the tour as well, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And then because he commentates on all the games and stuff as well. He was giving like lots of like really interesting insights. So like how it came about was that Parish basically said to a load of them like go to different places and see what they've done right and also importantly what they've done wrong. Like one example he gave was where this is another ground somewhere else, nothing to do with Palace. This is another academy. They put the gym underneath the office. So you're working in the office and you're hearing gung 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 constantly. So apparently now the people working there have to actually have earphones or earplugs. So yeah, they basically went around like see what's the good things to do, what's the bad things to do. And then they kind of came up with like a blueprint for the place. And like, it's so good. Like the vibe is so nice as well. Like without trying to be too biased, I do think having such a nice setup, a nice vibe would just be like, it's just going to bring people in. Do you know what I mean? Just because it's a nice place.
Yeah, I think that the extent of what I know of it is watching that drone flying through it. And it looks incredible just off of that. It looks like the canteen looks like a nightclub. It looks proper nice.
Honestly, it's so nice. And they do other things as well. It's not just about football. Like in that canteen, they teach them how to cook. Like 17-year-olds, they teach them how to like cook an omelette and stuff like that. Yeah. and then like they go around and they've got like obviously like the classrooms as well where they'll be getting like tuition 1-to-1, sometimes 1-to-4, something like that. So, you know, it's quite a nice holistic approach. And hearing what Brighty said as well, it sounds like I know there's been a lot of talk about like the whole sort of owner situation, but it does really sound like Parish really cares about how it's run.
We always knew Parish cared. It's just the Americans, which is the
yeah,
question
exactly.
mark. I wouldn't say they don't care, but I just say there's a question mark there. Yeah,
no, definitely. And for me, like, yeah, just the way it's all done is just incredible. Like, Brighty was also saying that apparently there's one kid who's come in. I can't remember how old he is. One kid who's come in, and apparently, like Arsenal and Chelsea were like properly like after him. But he actually chose Palace's academy because he just liked the place. So that's what I mean. It doesn't even matter. Like I also tutor a kid who's actually an Arsenal fan, plays for an academy in League Two, I think. But he actually said to me, that if he was to play for an academy, he wanted to play for Palace. Which I was. Another thing I thought was quite mad as well. I didn't realise this, but the dome that we've got is actually only one of 4 clubs in the country that have actually got one like that, like an indoor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. I was a bit blown away by that. Anyway, I just assumed that was like standard. But
I know Leicester 100% has one.
Yeah.
But the other 2, I've got no idea.
No, I mean, I just assumed that pretty much every Cat 1 had one, to be honest. But yeah, you saying that. I don't know if I misinterpreted what he said, but like from it sounds of it sounded like just generally like a big indoor space for them to do it. But yeah, I thought it was pretty mad.
Pretty incredible. They can keep training like normal even in the rain.
Well, exactly, and that's what he was saying is that it's important because like if you're like a coach, like you're naturally, if it's like pissing down with rain and you're cold in like mid-January, you're going to naturally like go a bit faster and stuff like that. And if they're having it inside and not having to worry about that, just gives people the time to really teach stuff. And also as well, bear in mind there are like down to like 8-year-old kids there that can be, you don't want them in the cold, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, honestly, if anyone gets a chance to do the tour, do it. I did notice a little thing on the website. It did seem to let me book extra tickets for people who weren't Academy Founder members. I don't know if that's the glitch of the website. So you do see this, you do want to go, just give it a try because the website might just let you book it anyway. Cool. And it was free.
Nate, how you doing?
All good, man. All good. You?
Yeah, doing good.
Feeling better?
Feeling a bit better, yeah. But I'll be there tomorrow, so.
No, that's good.
That's all good. Let's actually get on to this interesting game. Nate, when it came out of the hat, Palace came out of the hat. We're seeing Millwall still in there. We're seeing Charlton still in there, and then we pull out Southampton. How are you feeling?
The FA Cup is the luck of the draw. Like, let's be honest, we knew we weren't getting Millwall 2 years in a row. That just weren't going to happen, right? Naturally, you want to get a game that you're going to be excited for, you want to watch. And yeah, Southampton are not straight off the bat, oh, Christ, that's a great FA Cup tie. But at the same time, we've avoided a banana skin because, you know, we got Grimsby Town a few years ago under Roy, and we made hard work of getting through that, you know, and everybody was looking at it thinking, oh, we should snot them. Yeah, we laboured to a 1-0 win. And laboured being the operative word. It was painful from what Nicky's told me. So, but yeah, look, you know, obviously FA Cup time is a special time of year. It's the one time where league form means nothing. So despite having conceded 7 goals in our last 2 home games in the league, in the cup, things can change. And I'm pretty sure we went into the Millwall game this time last year. We lost to West Ham, did we not? So we have form for doing better in the cup after a defeat than we do. But if you ask me right now, I'm pretty sure you're going to ask. 1 second. Sorry.
Well, Dan, I'll move on. I'll move on to you then with what Nate said that league form doesn't matter. If we go into this game, do you think we're going to look at Southampton, or do you think the players are going to look at Southampton and say, "Look, they're bottom, 5 L's in a row, we're 12, we can take it easy," or do you think that they'll go for it because of the loss?
I think I don't know, because I don't think it was obviously losing 4-0 isn't great, but I mean, I don't think it was as bad as it was against Fulham. I think it just so happened that we played a team that just finished all their chances. So in that sense, I don't think so. But then at the same time, I do think that I think Vieira wants to win in FA Cups, and I think that kind of showed last season with the cup games that we did have. And I think like when we lost to Watford last season in the League Cup, I think he was quite gutted about that. I think as well there is an element of do we also play do you know what I mean? Do we also play the kids, which is something that I'm sure Southampton would be considering. So I don't know. I think it's a difficult one. I think third round ties as well, they're never particularly fiery unless they are against Millwall. I don't think anyone really ever seems to get up with that.
Nate, what do you think?
Sorry, what about? Sorry.
You was talking earlier before you left about the tie.
Oh yeah. So I'm a level with you. If you offered me get knocked out of the cup tomorrow, and our league form improves after we get through this horrible run of fixtures, I'd probably take it all day long, to be honest with you, because the cup is not a priority. The cup was a bit of a distraction last season. It was a nice distraction because we got to go to Wembley and the whole 9 yards. But I suppose it depends on what side of the coin you're on. I love the FA Cup, don't get me wrong, but we've seen in previous cup campaigns, look at 2016, we were 5th at Christmas, 15th in April. So it's a poison chalice going for a cup run because your league form will suffer massively. And as you know, it took us until April to win a game in the Premier League, and we had to beat Norwich. So it's hard to say, JC, because part of me would say, yeah, we should go for it because we've got nothing to lose. It's against opposition that's more or less in our bracket. And part of me is thinking, sod the cup, concentrate on the league, and don't find ourselves falling into that bracket of the table, because we've only got a 5-point gap as it stands, because I think we've got a couple of games in hand on some teams, because we still have to play them lot on the South Coast and Man United twice, and they're not going to be easy games. We've got Chelsea next, and we don't do well at Stamford Bridge. So tomorrow should be a distraction, but it depends on how we approach it, is what I would say.
100%. Let's go through some comments. Big up Louis. Post his first video today, I think.
You did.
I'll have a look later.
He done a nice little piece on Jack Butland going to Man United. I think that's another sort of talking point, because he was our cup keeper last season, wasn't he? So with him not being there, does that mean that John Stone's fit enough to play now? Because I'm sure that we wouldn't have let him go unless John Stone's ready.
Well, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? Unless they're thinking maybe Goodman or Whitworth already. That's the only other alternative I could maybe think.
There'll be a lot of trust in Whitworth, I'd imagine.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, you'd hope it'd be Johnston.
Big up everyone. Tomorrow you'll see some news. Yes, Leo said news, I think, after. Smash like, subscribe. Evening solo. The tour is free. I think so, right, Dan?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Big up. Do replays still exist? What round do they come in?
Yeah, they do still exist, as far as I know. Unless they change it this year.
I think they brought it back this year, because I know that they got rid of it last year because they didn't want to run the risk of COVID and everything. But they should have got rid of it, because cup replays are great for the lower league teams, so I'm not against it for them. But when it's Premier League against Premier League, bin it. Just penalty shootouts. Even though I hate penalties, but we move.
Big up Louise from Botafogo. Time to set fire. I hope that we can set fire to that pitch tomorrow, man. I really hope so. Not confident ahead of this game, but need to find a mentality booster for the players so we can win against the Saints. Eddie needs to start. We can talk about that when we do our predicted 11, because we're going to do a combined 11 and a predicted 11. I'd like to see what you guys are thinking, whether we keep going the same team or Eddie, but we'll talk about that one later. And finally, Rich says, "Is this game important?" I think it is what Nate said. Really,
it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Is what
it's hard to choose, because if you want to, because the cup's always important and everyone wants to win it all the time. But I think sometimes you need to look at your league form and think, is it really worth risking relegation to go on a cup run? I'm not saying that we're in risk of relegation right now, but if our form carries on the decline, it could be a problem. But there is also the flip side, where I think the season under Pardew, I reckon that FA Cup run saved us that season because we was playing games so constantly that the rhythm was there and we was picking up points. What do you think?
We were picking up points. That's the problem. You look at from when the cup run started to when we beat Norwich, we didn't win a game in the Premier League. We drew a couple of games, but we were taking serious L's. And I know
still getting some points though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but like people forget. People look at the run of 2016 and they gloss it over because we got to the final. But people forget our league form tanked. We were getting slapped by West Brom. We were getting slapped by teams that these are dead food, and we're getting smoked. So my fear is that if people want a cup run, you're going to sacrifice league form. And to be honest, after that horror show on the other night against Tottenham, I can't be bothered with the FA Cup this year because that broke me. Because I was like, I can understand that we're not going to be great at home every week, but my God in heaven, what happened? Halftime came and we looked worse than when we went in at halftime. It was just so annoying.
I mean, I think with the Alan Pardew one, I think that's just, I don't know. For me, I think it was more just that it was an Alan Pardew team that just, it's classic, like start off well and then just drop off. I would maybe compare it more to like last season. Because last season, I still think we played well, even though we did get to the semi-final. I mean, we did lose James McArthur and stuff, but I think on the whole, I thought we still played pretty well the second half of the season.
For sure, we did.
Yeah, for me, I think that the Alan Pardew one was just, I think it was just more Alan Pardew rather than the FA Cup, to be honest.
But the injuries, Dan, that's what killed us in 2016 was we got too many injuries. And you're relying on Chung Young Lee, Bakary Sakho, Fraser Campbell, Emmanuel Adebayor, players that don't inspire you to think, okay, we've lost Balassi, but Sakho can come in and do a job. Sakho was good for maybe lumping the ball up to, but that was it, And now you look at the last game. People were quick to jump on Jordan Ayew and Ward and Klein, but I'm thinking, where's the hate? Where's the hate for Elise? Why wasn't he tracking back?
Well, yeah, exactly.
People
that is a good point.
People don't want to criticize Elise because he's a flair player and everything, but I'm like, no, mate, listen. You play as a team, you win and lose as a team. He was at fault for one of those goals alongside, I think it was Ward, or was it Klein? It was one of the two of them anyway. But it was, Elise didn't do no wrong. Go watch it again. Go watch it again.
Yeah, no, you definitely can't track. I mean, it's a good point about the injuries, though, to be fair, because, I mean, like, this season, we already know that we're incredibly light, aren't we? So I guess that is another good point to make, is that, like, can we really afford any potential injuries that we get from, like, a fourth round game or a fifth round game? I'm not so
sure. When talking about injuries, we're looking at on the other side the people who can play, the fit players. Southampton made the signing of Orsic. It's completed 2 hours ago.
Is that completed now?
Confirmed, completed, and on their website. It's probably very short notice, but do you think that he will maybe make an appearance against us tomorrow because he was fit for Zagreb?
I don't think so because he'll need to train.
I don't think he'd have trained, and I'm pretty sure that even if it is announced before the so-called deadline, it'd be very tight to get him into the team because he hasn't played with none of his teammates before. He hasn't even trained with any of them. So
in that case, do you think that getting someone in like that who's had the career he's had the certain performances he's had? I mean, one that I think of is his hat trick against Tottenham in the Europa League, which ain't no small feat. But do you think just him being at the club will be a massive influence to the players and just how they're feeling about playing football because they know they've got him to come?
It could be a boost.
Sorry.
No, sorry, Dan. It could be a boost, but it could also work against them because that's now competition for places. So these Southampton players that play in his position will have to look at it and go, wait a second, this new guy's come in, what's he going to do? And this is where we've been way too lenient on our board and our manager and our director of football, because we're all looking at it going, we've been way too loyal to so many players that just aren't good enough anymore. And we got proof of that in the last 2 home games. So the fact that we're hearing, oh, it looks like we're going to be signing loans and that, big man, just play kids. Play kids in Premier League games. I don't care if they're not good enough. Do you know what it is? We need bodies. We've got an academy there. Let's use it. Even if they're nowhere near ready for Premier League football, it wouldn't hurt to throw them in, because the fact that we're not spending money is a bit of a concern, because you're like, I'm fairly certain we didn't spend anywhere near our full budget on just 4 players. I guarantee that's not the case. So what's going on? And we're already told near enough a year ago that money for the main stand is separate to the transfer budget for the club. So I'm a little bit mystified as to how we're going in the loan market when all it takes is a little bit of shrewd scouting and shrewd spending. You never know. We might unearth a gem. Now, obviously, it's easier said than done, but there are players out there that could definitely help us, because if we have unknown quantities against other teams, it's an advantage, because nobody's played against certain players. But but we'll get into that. Sorry, Dan, I didn't mean to cut you. Go ahead.
I can't remember what I said. I was saying, to be honest. But my fear with the whole sort of like what you were saying about the loans thing, my fear is that, because generally speaking, January transfers tend to be more money, because say you buy from Club A, they've got less time to prepare for them not being there anymore. So my fear is that they're kind of thinking, oh, hang on a minute, we'll get loans in January to save a few quid. Do you know what I mean? Which I guess it can work and it can't work. But what I don't want them to do is to be so stingy where it's like, okay, let's try to get player A who matches our system or make us a genuinely better team. We're not going to spend the money on them. So are we going to go for we can't get a loan for them. The only option is to buy, but then we don't go in for that player just because we would have to buy them rather than loan them, or loan them with a fee or whatever, that kind of thing. That's my fear with what they're saying, because I can't see, like you said, the transfer, like the infrastructure budget is totally separate to FFP. And I'm not being funny, but I think I saw quoted in a newspaper, it was like between 75 and 100 million for the newsstand, right?
Yeah.
I'm not being funny. For incredibly rich people, bearing in mind one of them is a multi-billionaire, I can't see, and bearing in mind they can probably get a loan from a bank or whatever, I can't see how that makes a huge dent in what they're able to do with transfer budgets and stuff like that. And bearing in mind that we spent 80 million or wherever it was in the last summer in first summer project Reboot, which is a brilliant window. But before that, we spent nothing with Roy because he was steadying the ship, spent nothing. Then we spent nothing last summer. I mean, I can't remember. I mean, Sheikh Decore was about 22 mil. And then now we're saying in January, we're going to loan people. But like I said, my fear is that we're just being overly cheap, if you know what I mean, and overly stringent on what we did. And that is something that they obviously did in the summer. For example, with Cheku Koyate, we didn't keep Cheku Koyate because they didn't want to give him a 2-year contract, which I get the reasoning behind it, but you got to then back that up. Yeah, exactly. You got to bring in, like, I get the Flynn Downs thing was a massive shame and very unfortunate, but you need another person. Like, if you need a backup for your backup, do you know what I mean? You need lots of players that you've been speaking to. And I think last summer as well with Conor Gallagher, I think they were just expecting him to come back. And then when they went in for their backup, it was too late. And it's, do you know what I mean? Like, there's just no, they need to think about every possible situation. I don't think they do.
Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't, because this is the thing: is
it happens too often.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, because we've heard this all before from the club, right? The club love to tell us, "Oh, we're trying to become ambitious and become a self-sustaining football club." Suffice to say, young players like Whitworth, Wells Morrison, etc., come through and get first team minutes. Not many of these players that they're talking about are close to first team football. They're deluding themselves that they think they are. And I know some people might say, oh, that's kind of harsh. But look at Adaramola last season.
Yeah.
Too many people got on the hype train with him because he had a relatively decent debut against a League Two opponent. He did okay against Stoke, which again is Football League opposition, albeit it is Championship. But he went to Coventry and couldn't kick a ball in anger. They literally sent him back before, I think, even just before the season started in the Championship. What does that tell you? And I love Teo. I think he's a brilliant player, and I think he could do really well for us and hopefully for the Republic of Ireland. But this hype over the youth, and sorry, JC, but the hype over the youth is mad because the same thing happened with Brandon Pierrick at Norwich. He got a pre-assist to an assist. The whole fan base went into meltdown. Oh, this guy's the next best thing at the academy. Oh, my God. Never saw him play again. Now he's without a club. That kind of says it all. Sorry, go ahead, JC.
Let's move on to the combined 11. So we obviously need to have 3 Southampton players or 3 Palace players. I think we'll just go around the panel and just pick one each. Mm-hmm. I've gone first. I put the goalkeeper in, Bazunu. I think he's a quality keeper.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, let's go left back.
Well, I think he's back now from his suspension, so I'd say Mitchell. Even though he's been awful this season, I don't know. I'm not sure about Southampton's left back, so I'm going to say Mitchell to play it safe.
I don't think Mitchell can play.
He's not. Yeah, this is his third game.
Straight red, yeah.
So I would play Klein here, I think.
Well, if he can't play, then I would prefer a left-footed player at left back because it's so obvious that Klein or Ward are right-footed.
Jeffrey Schlupp.
Jesus Christ!
No, I can't, especially after what he done. I can't.
No.
Wait, let's look up. Wait, let's Google Southampton's left back.
I think their left back is Juan Carlos. I've got their team thing here, or is it Lycan? Or
it's Lyanco, isn't it?
Lyanco, or something.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we'll put him in then.
Right back, Dan.
I'm gonna go for. See, I'm a big fan, but I don't think he's played this season, or is he not? Oh no, he's gone, isn't he? Right. Well, I was a big fan of Tino Livramento, but I don't think.
Injured.
Oh, he's injured. Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, he plays for Southampton. He wasn't on loan. It was Broja that was on loan last season at Southampton. Yeah,
because I'm not being. I mean, I like Klein. Don't get me wrong, but I do think I think Kyle Walker-Peters is probably a bit better. Perhaps.
All right, I'll put Joachim Andersen as the first centre back. Nate, other centre back?
Salisu.
After the shocker he had against us early in the season.
I mean, have you seen our defence lately?
That's true.
We're not really in a position to be judging other teams' defenders, to be fair. I mean, our defenders can't even jump.
Dan, first defensive midfielder.
I'll do the easy one. I'll do Sheikh Decoy.
Who is their DM?
Well, at the moment, I'm looking through. It seems like Ward Prowse will play there. El Yanusi plays there, and
I'm seeing. I know that's a new kid coming through, like Lavia, but I think he's a pretty good player, isn't he?
Yeah,
well, Maitland-Niles can play there as well.
We could switch up the formation slightly, and then make it one DM, so one DM, and then two 8, like that. Because in that case, I'd be very inclined to put probably Ward-Prowse and Eze, or Aribo and Eze in midfield.
I'm just trying to think who I would prefer. I've got to be honest. I don't really like Eze when it's this kind of.
Yeah, me neither. If we go back to this and then just get a DM.
Well, it seems like Ward-Prowse can play in the DM.
Let's do that then.
That's what it looks like anyway.
Nate, attacking midfielder.
Oh gosh, I don't want to pick Eze because I think some people need to chill on him because he had a terrible game on what was it? Tuesday, Wednesday, wasn't it? Yeah, Wednesday. However,
Aribo.
Yeah, Aribo, because I'm actually bitter that we didn't sign him, and this is a player that I was saying we should sign because he would add way more to our midfield because he tracks back, he breaks play, and he creates play. And this is what I was saying to people: is that if you pay the money, the player will come. But of course, Palace being Palace decided, no, we don't need a player. We're all good.
Dan,
I'm going to jump off and go
wing.
get some food. I'll be back in a second.
Sweet. Dan, left wing.
Well, I think that would have to be Chamza.
No, they changed it. Right wing. Oh, he's not on this one.
Who are you looking for?
Edoze. The kid they bought from Man City. But yeah, he's not on here. So we're gonna put Eto in there.
I wouldn't mind him in the team, to be fair.
Yeah, me neither. I'm gonna put Edoze in there because I think I'm using the same rationale that Nate was using with Aribo. Very poor lately. And whenever I know we're not Southampton fans, but whenever I've seen Edoze play, he's making something happen. He's driving at players and he's getting goals. And Elise's not been doing that lately.
Yeah, no, and also I like Elise, but I do just think he's too predictable as well. Like he'll always
cut in, and he does it so slowly as well.
And like he's just every time I've seen him, is like a really simple. Like if he did it with his right foot, it would just be really simple. But rather than that, he makes it more complicated, and then we'll try to do it with his left foot because he literally doesn't have a right foot.
Finally, the striker.
Well, I guess this is the next one, isn't it? I mean, I will go for Edouard, to be honest, because I mean the Southampton alternative is Shea Adams, so
yeah, I think I'll go Eddie as well.
And also, I do genuinely think Eddie is a very good striker. So,
looking in the comments, please remove Lianco. I'm a Saints fan. Edoze's class. Have you seen we've just signed Orsic? Yes, we've talked about that already, but I doubt he'll play. So we're picking players that are gonna play in this match, and I'm seeing everyone telling me to put this guy in.
Perrault.
Yeah, who is this guy? I don't know. I can't even see him on their website. Yeah, he's not even on their website. Left back. Perrault.
Right, there we go.
All right. I had to make sure that there's 3 Palace players in here because I wasn't actually too sure. because that's how crap we've been. He's been good for us. Get prod in. Cool. No worries. Okay. This is probably the best combined 11 we could do. Because
I don't think that's a bad squad.
it's not bad at all. It's not terrible. But obviously I know that Ward-Prowse doesn't play the best in DM, but he can play there. Because if anything, this sort of combined 11 has the problem that we kind of have now as a Palace team, where you've got one sick DM, you've got one great attacking midfielder, but you've got no other good DM or no good 8, but you've got people that play in the 8, if that makes sense. So we've sort of got players to fill a job, but they're not good enough to do it properly. Like I keep saying, I think that in our midfield, if Schlupp has a bad game, our whole team falls apart because that one extra midfield spot is just so pivotal to how we play, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. I tell you what I would do with this one, actually. What I would maybe, in terms of the formation, I'd maybe put Decore in the mid and then have Aribo and Ward-Prowse as like 2 kind of like 8s. Because I think for Aribo, that's kind of where, if we had signed him, that's where I was thinking he would kind of play.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Oh, but let me move Zaha and
Samueto on the left wing.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I never realised that Southampton signed Eto. What happened there?
I tried to put Edoze at right wing, so this is the next best Samuel.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Nate, what do you think of this combined 11?
Both teams are pretty trash, so it's the best of a bad bunch, really. Let's call it as we see it. Let's not kid ourselves here. Like, we can't buy a goal at home for love or money, and they've had a torrid time the whole season, really. Like, don't get me wrong, when we played them earlier on in the season, I was thinking, how crap are they if we're literally amazed it's only 1-0? Because we were awful in that game from what I remember, but we were way better than them. So I'm like, that's kind of telling an awful lot about us as well as them. But with the cup, it doesn't matter how well you played in a league fixture, so you never know. Southampton may turn on the style tomorrow and absolutely wipe the floor with us, or it might be more of the same from the league game. But I hate playing Southampton, mainly because of Ward-Prowse. I mean, I rate him as a player, but he's just a rat-faced, you know the rest. I can't stand him.
Let's do let's do our predicted 11. Let me. what formation are we going?
Who knows?
It don't matter who we pick because Decore is going to have to play midfield by himself. That's just Decore is our midfield. That's it.
Wait, I think you've basically done our formation already, isn't it? 4 players.
Pretty much, bruv. Not even going to lie.
I know. I guess it depends whether he's going to play kids, because I'm not sure.
I think John Stone's fit.
You know what? Honestly, I
wouldn't mind him playing kids. Do you know why? Because it would really test the mettle of the true Eagles. Because if the kids play crap, they're gonna be but we lost. Yeah, but you're not a true Eagle. You didn't back the kids. Yeah. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. But Johnston hopefully will play because I think White needs a rest because everybody's trying to go at him for the Tottenham goals. I'd probably look at Jordan Ayew on the right or John Kamani Gordon if he can play because I know that's what you're trying to find there, JC.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm looking at the way Raksaki's played for Charlton lately. He's been hit and miss and hot and cold. He couldn't have done any worse if he came back. So, do you know what I mean? It's just mad, man.
Well, he's looking to swap it. They're looking to swap him over to QPR or somewhere like that, aren't they? Not QPR. They're looking Ipswich. They're looking to swap him there, so because Ipswich are going for the title.
Yeah, and it'd be good
League
for
One.
in a winning
Charlton
team.
are
Some mob down in Kent, because you know Charlton ain't in South London. We know that anyway. But yeah,
well, they have to still fans of Gillingham, don't they? That's the level they're at.
imagine that though. Like you bleat on about how you're the biggest club in South London, but you're more interested in Gillingham, and even Millwall are looking at you going your third choice rival because they've got West Ham, us, and them. We've got Brighton, Millwall, and them. It's like it's peak for these lot. They've won an FA Cup. Neither of us have won that, but you're not even the top dog. It's mad.
I think for us it goes Brighton, Millwall, Bromley, no Wimbledon,
Bromley, Sutton,
Welling United,
Charlton.
Charlton.
Yeah, well, no, they even further down the Tooting and Mitcham, bruv.
I mean, I wouldn't mind him because we literally don't have a left back. I wouldn't mind him playing a Damarola, to be honest, because why not?
I reckon he played Gyro here because he done it against Stoke at the end, didn't he?
Well, Vieira's saying that he's playing.
I wouldn't mind Riedewald there actually.
So I'm actually thinking change Decore for Will Hughes, because then we can see are people twerking for Will Hughes right or are they wrong? Because I don't see Will Hughes having that big of an impact. And as you said, JC, in the League Cup game, he was trash.
Well, put it this way: in the League Cup against Oxford, the midfield was Schlupp, Luca, and Hughes, and that was dead.
That's like three of the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
And put it this way: I'm not allowing a combined 11 to have Luca and Hughes in the same midfield. It's not happening. There's no way.
We're not blessed for options, JC. So, do you know what I mean? Like, I hear what you're saying, but like,
I'm more inclined to put Ayew in the 10 and put Elise out on the right. That's what I'm more inclined to do. I'm not putting Elise in the 10. He's shit there.
Elise in the 10 is a myth. It's been proven. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Ayew at 10, Elise on the wing. But my God, like I've got no faith in this team right now. You know, it's mad.
I mean, either.
Well, you know, Crystal Palace, you have no faith, and guess what? We'll smash someone. It's just how it works.
No, yeah, I know, but that's
a lack of faith, and then we'll turn up.
That's why I was saying charity professional football club, because I was like, this is why I say it. I'm amazed people haven't copped on. This is that second half against Tottenham proved my point. There we go. I told you. I bloody told you. Son hasn't scored in 8 games. What a surprise he scores against us. Oh,
did you see the stat that Aubameyang's only had like 3 shots on target in like the past 9 games or something, of 3 shots, and one of I think it was 3 shots. I don't even think it was on target. Just 3 shots in the last 9 games, and one of them was to equalise against us.
Yeah, we all know the guy that got the assist for that should have been sent off. But hey, VAR doesn't help the big 6 apparently.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Okay.
I'm sort of thinking a bit more because Richards does play right back. Should I put him right back and then Tompkins in there?
Tompkins at centre back.
You know what? I would honestly rather go for, if he's not out on loan, I'd rather go for like Kofi Baumer or someone like that. Honestly,
listen to me very carefully. I'd play Pete the Eagle over James Tompkins at centre back. James Tompkins at centre back is going to give me unbelievable nightmares.
My other idea was Caden Rodney at right back.
Anybody but Tompkins, you know, and you've got my vote.
I wouldn't mind that actually. I wouldn't mind that.
I highly doubt he'll be here, right? Yeah, so we got this guy. His name's Rodney.
Devante Rodney.
Another Rodney.
There's a striker and he's playing right back.
I mean, it's a Rodney. It will do.
I love it.
But this is a depressing team, man. I can't lie to you. This is a very depressing team.
JC, we don't support Palace for the benefit of our health. Let's be real.
Oh, no. Supporting this team reduces my mental health. It makes it worse. I think a good way to round out is do some score predictions.
Oh,
Nate, I'm going to drop you in there. You go first.
Only because you don't want to. You don't want to give me.
I've got no idea. That's why.
Well, thank you very much for the honor, I guess.
You can pass it to Dan.
No.
I ain't allowed to do predictions.
You know,
you can predict this game. It don't matter.
Yeah, true.
Head says 2-1 Palace. Heart says 3-0 Palace, and you can tell that my head's probably more logical because we ain't putting 3 past anyone. We can't score for love of money at home. But I will take 2 James Ward-Prowse own goals on a James Ward-Prowse red card all day long, sir.
Dan, will you please bless us?
Wow. I'm going to say 1-0. I've got to back the boys. Do you know what I mean? If we win, great. If we lose, I'm also not going to be overly upset given the current situation of the season.
Well, this is the team that Rich has gone with.
As I said, I couldn't put Hughes and Luca in that same midfield.
But
JKG, definitely.
If JKG has an absolute blinder, then I will gladly apologise to the academy that I've been saying that none of them are good enough. But I don't hold faith that our youth are as good as some people make them out to be. They're doing well in the youth league, but I'm not really backing it until we see more. We see more than one breakthrough because we've only had Mitchell and Wan-Bissaka make Premier League debuts the last 5 years.
Raksaki and JKG's already played. Didn't he play against Chelsea, or was he just on the bench? Can't remember now.
No, he hasn't come on yet. But Pierrick, Raksaki, Wan-Bissaka, and Mitchell. That's 4 in 5 years. That's dreadful.
Yeah.
No, I lie. Sorry, and Luke Dreyer as well. I lie. Luke Dreyer, Bournemouth, the 5-3 at Selhurst Park. The highest game of football I've ever seen. It's like, what the hell's going on?
Well, yeah, if just replacing Elise here with Gordon, straight up. My prediction. I predict 2-0 the boys. Just being hopeful. Go on, Dan.
Right, so
Stack my boss, man.
Because I'm an absolute saddo, and this is how I spend my times. So I took it from when we were both in the Premier League, so 13-14. Southampton have won 7 of their 9 third rounds. We've won 6 of the 9.
Mad.
In terms of Premier League,
in the cup,
we've actually the last time Southampton went out in the third round was against us in the FA Cup.
Oh yeah, I think we played them away, didn't we?
Yeah, we've knocked them out twice in that time frame. We've knocked them out twice. One was 3-2 and one was 2-1.
Yeah. I was thinking, I know we played Southampton in the FA Cup since we've been back in the Prem.
Yeah.
No.
And to be fair, we actually do all right against PL sides. So in that time, we've played 15 Premier League sides and won 8 of them. Southampton have played 13 and won just 5. So they're not as good.
And that means the stats are against us then, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. But we'll see.
Like I said, 2 Ward-Prowse own goals, a Ward-Prowse red card, and Wilfred Zaha cupping his ears to the Saints fans. Job done. Lovely.
Let's finish out with some comments. Martin, Dan, your top looks like beach volleyball.
Mate, this is a classic. It's Palmer. Yeah.
Palmer top back in the day. Shame Nick isn't on this stream. He'd get flashbacks by JC's Japan journey. I see you in the final. That's all I'll say. Slap Hughes next to Kure. No, I'm not having this again. This is probably talk about Charlton. Croydon FC and Croydon Athletic are bigger rivals to Crystal Palace. he put Subway before Charlton. I can't lie, he might rest Decore. I think he needs a rest because
I wouldn't
I
blame
think
him.
he does pull up for cramp and he doesn't normally play the whole 90 very often. Whereas the creativity, there ain't none, even when we've got all our good players in there. IU has -4 vision. Yeah, we talked about that a second ago. I leave the stadium if I see Tompkins. We'll see about that. 3-1 is his prediction. Check into the mental home. After you pick that 11, you think you're going to score 2 goals. Richard's prediction. Martin's prediction. Day in the life of Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, I think that's it. Anything you guys would like to add before we round up?
Nah.
No, not
Alright.
really. Not really. Just eagle-eyed football. Our team can't buy a goal at home. What can I say? There's no such thing as home comforts for Crystal Palace. And to add insult to injury, we got a home tie in the FA Cup. You couldn't write it. You couldn't write it. But people, he's JC, there's Statman Dan. It's the idiot eagle-eyed Nate. And JC taking away, we're out.
That's it. Match preview. Up the Palace. Eagles.